What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Now, the first episode in this series, I talked about Sting and his ties with the Nature Boy Ric Flair. Now, when you think of the name Sting, there's one other name that immediately comes to mind, and that is his real-life best friend, the Total Package Lex Luger. These two both fought on the same sides with each other, warred against each other from the late 80s all the way up to when WCW closed its doors. So let's do a deep dive into the storied past of Sting and Lex Luger. I am the Americream Dream HuskyRhodes, and this is Icon. These two men had a very interesting way of getting into the business because they both started out as bodybuilders, where Luger actually had a cup of coffee in the NFL and then ended up down in Florida where he trained with Hiro Matsuda and wrestled for Championship Wrestling in Florida, where Sting, after his bodybuilding ventures, was out in California, trained by Rick Bassman, and was out in the Bill Watts territory, UWF. Both men actually debuted for Jim Crockett Promotions in 1987. Luger came in February, Sting came in July when UWF was purchased, and Luger was actually a member of the Horsemen when him and Sting first got into it with each other in October of 87 for Luger's then U.S. Heavyweight Championship. Then later on in 87, Luger is kicked out of the Four Horsemen, and this is the first time where we see Sting and Luger on the same page. And then in 1988, Luger was supposed to be in the Crockett Cup with Barry Windham. Now, shortly before the tournament, Barry Windham turns on Lex Luger. He's now out of a partner. Who steps in? The man called Sting steps in. And surprisingly enough, both men actually win the Crockett Cup that year. And then, as Sting's career is known to do, people like to turn on Sting. And Luger does it a lot. He does it in 1989. And then they feud again. Luger gets the U.S. title back and they start feuding over that. And then in 1990, Luger has a change of heart, gets back on the same page with Sting, and is on his side when Ric Flair finally drops the belt to Sting in July of 1990. Now, Sting, after winning the world title, goes down with an injury, and then in June of 91, Luger actually wins the World Heavyweight title. This time, you guessed it, by turning heel. And then Sting comes back, obviously is pissed because his best friend is doing heel tactics again. And they wrestle at Super Brawl 2 for the world title. Now, you would expect this to be like a penultimate conclusion to their topsy-turvy relationship, right? Well, the match kind of sucked because Luger was on his way out to go to WWE. And the fans knew it and kind of dunked on it. So Luger goes off and does his 3-year stint up in WWE, and on the first episode of Monday Nitro, during the Sting Ric Flair match, who just so happens to pop up in the crowd? The Total Package Lex Luger returning to WCW. And this starts the on-again, off-again feud with Luger. Now, in 1996, this is when the NWO comes into play. And Luger starts to really doubt the integrity of Sting. which is absolutely hilarious to me. Because, think about it. This man has flip-flopped numerous times on Sting, yet Luger is the one questioning Sting's integrity. Absolutely hysterical. So this is the catalyst for the crow paint from Sting, and then they go off and have their own separate feuds. Luger, when the Wolfpack splits from NWO Hollywood, Luger ends up joining the Wolfpack, and he recruits Sting to join the babyface offshoot, the Wolfpack, which is very funny to me, because the man that keeps turning heel on Sting is trying to get Sting to join a babyface faction. I get a kick out of that. I think that's hilarious. So after the Wolfpack, Sting and Luger kind of go back and forth again during the dying days of WCW. After WCW goes under, they actually end up going down to World Wrestling All-Stars in Australia and trying to continue the feud. And that was when Luger went off and did his own thing, and Sting went out to TNA. Now, the two, even after wrestling, still remain friends. In fact, when Lex gave his life to Christ, Sting actually was the one to baptize him, which, not really a religious man myself, but I think that is a great, great touch. Now, these two men, Sting and Lex Luger, are so synonymous with one another and tied together that WCW and now WWE have made toys of the two of them together. Like, there's action figures, there's Funko Pops. Like, they were so bound together that they were like, let's make some money off of this and make toys together. By the way, my birthday's in February, and if any of you see a Sting and Luger Funko Pop set, get at me. I just absolutely adore the fact that those two are still real life best friends. It's such a great thing to see, because a lot of times you hear about wrestlers and the way that things are, to find like a brotherhood like that, I think it's tremendous. But anyway, I'm starting to ramble. Thank you so much for watching Icon, and until next time, we'll catch you later.